What's going on, everyone? UFC Denver is coming up this weekend. We've got Thug Rose taking on Tracey Cortez on short notice. I'm going to give you my best bets for the cards. I'm going to give you a safety parlay. I'm going to give you some straight and prop bets. And I'm also going to give you some nibbles / sprinkles that you can just chuck $5 to $10 on and see how it goes and hopefully build up your bankroll a bit more. Before we begin, I want to go over quickly my last betting card, which was UFC 303. We hit both of our safety parlays. I did 2 parlays for that one because it was UFC 303. It was a big card. We hit 9 out of 12 predictions, and we hit 2 out of 4 straight / props. We didn't hit any nibbles or sprinkles, but hopefully this card we can change that. Also, quickly, while you're at it, click the subscribe button, give this video a like and a thumbs up, please. I'm begging you. Thank you. I'm not begging you. Just please, it would be nice. All right, let's start off the safety parlay. Now, I'm going to tell you, before I even begin any bets, this card is horrible to bet on personally, okay? I struggled to create this safety parlay, and if it wasn't for Evan Elder stepping up on short notice with Darius Flowers like in the past couple of days, I probably wouldn't have had a safety parlay because it's just a difficult card, and when it's dealing with Denver altitude, you just don't know what's going to happen. But nonetheless, let's begin. So, Evan Elder moneyline mixed with Ponzi / Salikov fight doesn't go to decision or the distance. We'll start off with Evan Elder. He is a very good fighter, and you might look at his record and think, he lost to Sadyokov, he lost to Preston Parsons, he's not that good. Well, let me show you why I think he's good. Evan Elder against Sadyokov, he was up 2 rounds to 0, and he was mixing in the boxing and the wrestling. He even hurt Sadyokov, and if it wasn't for a doctor's cut stoppage in the 3rd round, he probably was going to come away with that victory with the judges. So he's been not robbed by a victory on his record, but definitely he's unfortunate and got the short end of the stick there. With Preston Parsons, that was upper weight class on short notice, and it was still a dogfight. He just got out wrestled there by the bigger man and probably the better wrestler out of the 2. Darius Flowers, I just don't think is very good. I mean, we've seen him exposed on the floor. He's got many submission losses. I can't remember by the top of the head how many. I think I've got it here, actually. He has got 5 out of his 7 losses by submission. The Jake Matthews fight wasn't a good look. Matthews just kind of toyed with him the whole fight, and I think that was in Denver as well. And what puts me at the top of this confidence is Flowers posted on Twitter or Instagram, something like that he wasn't wanting this fight. He wasn't willing to accept this fight, but he kind of got forced into it, and that just screams red flags to me. I mean, he just you don't want to see a fighter complaining or being down in himself before the fight, and that just adds to what I think is already a better fighter in Elder, and my confidence. It was a medium confidence in my predictions because I said that Elder has chin concerns, but I've looked at it a bit more, and I think he should just have the advantage clearly in the striking and in the wrestling, and should probably win this by finish, to be honest. Then we go to the Ponzi and Salikov fight, and that's to not go the distance. Now, we just look at both their chins and their age, and it just screams that, they're declining. Ponzi got hurt by Morono like 3 times. I think it was once in each round, and Morono barely hurts anyone. And if you're getting hurt by him, I think Salikov can definitely hurt you with his, fast and powerful striking. He also got KO'd by Holland with the one hand. I mean, you should probably know that. He only had one hand because he came in that fight with a broken hand. And Salikov himself has been KO'd. He got KO'd by Brown. He got head kicked and hurt by Delby. And he also got KO'd by the Leech. So, I do think Salikov gets the KO within the 1st round because I do think he's the better striker of the 2 within the 1st round. But if it escapes the 1st, I think Ponzi can probably batter him up with the leg kicks, with the boxing. And I just think with the Denver altitude, this probably screams one of these fighters gassing, and I think it would be Salikov if it escapes the 1st, and Ponzi probably picks up the finish in the 2nd or 3rd round. So I think fight doesn't go decision is a good, value piece there, and it gets you plus 112. So I'm not complaining too much on a card where I couldn't really find that many spots that I like. All right. Onto the straights and props. We'll start with the first one. Petrosky and Friend, fight doesn't go decision, minus 167. Now, I know these are a little bit chalky, especially the first 2, but like I said, I found it hard to find specific straights or anything really that I liked in this card. So bear with me on this card. I promise you not every card will be like this. Now, for Petrosky and Friend, Petrosky has no chin, he has no cardio. We've seen it time and time again. He just got KO'd by a hip bone. I mean, that should scream to you everything. However, I also think he finishes Friend because Friend has just is just kind of mid. He's not that good of a fighter. He got taken down by Jamie Pickett, who I don't know if you know. Jamie Pickett's not the best fighter ever. He's really not that good at all. I don't think he's UFC caliber. He's getting taken down by Jamie Pickett. His back was completely exposed by Jamie Pickett. And I think Petrosky, who's a 10 times better wrestler and grappler than Pickett, can probably take advantage of that. I also think he has upside again the KO. Friend's been KO'd a few times. But also, you know, swap it the other way. I think Friend can KO Petrosky in rounds 2 or 3. It's not like I think Friend's the best striker or the most powerful striker, but he hurt Dumas. And like I said, Petrosky has no gas tank. And I think it'll just be given on a plate if it escapes the first round to Friend to get that finish. So give me fight doesn't go decision at -167 all day, every day. That was very close to being in my safety parlay, but I picked the Salikov and Ponzi won because I just liked it a little bit more. Now, Agapova and Santos, fight doesn't go decision. This is based on the merit that Agapova has no ground game, and we've seen it time and time again. She's also competed recently in some like grappling tournaments, and she lost both of those, and I think both of them were by submission fairly fast. She just doesn't have it. We've also heard the stories. I broke it down in my predictions for these specific fighters a bit more. If you want to go check out that video, I go a lot more in depth. But she's gone through a lot of rumors, homelessness, extortion, you know, just everything. And, you know, match that with Santos being a judoka and a very good jiu-jitsu player. I think Santos finds the finish in the first round. However, we've also seen Santos gas out. We saw it in the Egger fight. After that flurry against Miller, finding that KO, she was visibly gassed as well. And I think Agapova, if she doesn't get finished in the first round, might even find a finish in the second or third round due to a gassed out Santos. Santos has had her own troubles with her thyroid. And, you know, I just think this fight doesn't go the distance. It's just as simple as that. I think Santos either gets finished on the ground or Agapova probably finds a finish on the feet because she's, I think, the better striker out of the two. And Santos has cardio issues. Not saying that Agapova doesn't either. I'm just saying that is a variable there. Arosa, C-Rod, fight doesn't go decision. Another one not going the distance. I mean, Arosa has been cracked 7 times, as in he has been KO'd 7 times in his career, which is a lot. I mean, people say that C-Rod doesn't have power, but he really does have good striking, and I do think he has power, even though he's coming up a weight class here. He has these beautiful step-in elbows, beautiful step-in knees, and I think match that with Arosa's chin, I think C-Rod does find the finish here. However, in saying that, I do think C-Rod does have some concerns, specifically when he gets taken down. He exposes his front, like the front choke, so he always, you can see it in his fight tape. His opponent always has the opportunity to get like a Das or a Bravo. And it's not saying that they'll finish it or anything like that, but I'm just saying it is there. And Arosa's favorite choke is the Bravo choke, is the front chokes. So there is a possibility that he could snatch one up there. But more so, I think that C-Rod does find the finish within the first couple of rounds due to Arosa's chin being absolute mush and C-Rod actually having some decent striking. So yeah. Give me that not to go the distance. That's nearly even money, so I would take that that prop there. Bonfim, KO sub. Now, I know that Lusa has never been finished, but that doesn't mean he can't be finished. He is being hurt by people like Fletcher, like Battle. There's another fighter there that hurt him. Let me just have a look here quickly. Fletcher, Battle, and Reese McKee as well in the third round. I mean, Bonfim has never been, or has been to the third round twice and has never been to the distance. So I think Bonfim wins this fight, and I'm just going to play his path of victory, which would be the KO or the sub. I think -118 is good for Bonfim. It completely switches his price tag from being like, I don't know, he's like $1.30 something, which I don't know what that is. I think that's like -300-400. And it takes it all the way to -118, which I think is a very good, you know, you're just completely chopping away at all that juice. Because I really don't think he wins this by decision if he wins. And yeah, so playing by KO sub, you get that extra cash in your pocket if it does hit. Now, Rose to win by 4-5 a decision is merely based on the fact that I just don't think, if this was a 3-round fight, I think Cortez probably wins this, but it's not. And I just don't think Cortez, on short notice, in altitude, is going to be able to wrestle for 5 rounds. I think Rose will be able to take over the fight after the second round and win the later rounds. I also think I'm covering the her finishing Cortez in rounds 4 or 5 because we've seen Cortez slow down and be visibly gassed in the third round. She slowed down against Jasmine. She also slowed down against Justine Kish. So yeah, and there's levels to this. Rose has fought the best of the best, and Cortez really hasn't. So I think Rose wins this one. I think she doesn't finish her in the first rounds. I said that about the Whittaker one, but I'm a bit more confident in this one. I don't think she finishes her in the first couple of rounds. I do think she wins this probably by decision, but I'm covering my basis here. Rounds 4, 5 a decision, you get it -111, so you save a bit of money on her. And yeah, that's just my my thought process on that one. So those are my straights and props. I'm probably going to parlay these up because, like I said, I don't really like playing too many money lines straight because that's just not the way I go about things. I like my safety parlay, and I like to just bet around the board and throw a few darts here and there, and that's just the way I've been successful in my own betting. But you can do whatever you want. This is just advice. This is just information that you don't have to do, and hopefully it helps you out in some way or the other. Now, we'll go to the little nibblers, the little things that you chuck $5 to $10 on, and you know, you see how it goes. So for Agapova, rounds 2 or 3, like I said, I think she's a better striker, and like I said as well, I think Santos gasses pretty visibly and pretty hard. If Agapova is, I don't know, somehow just survives and Santos is still experiencing the thyroid problems, experiences the Denver altitude and just gasses, I think Agapova is very live to finish her in rounds 2 or 3. You can probably get a better number there with Agapova KO, because I know she's got those gillies on her record finishing opponents, but they're normally after she hurts them. So yeah, I do think you can probably get increased numbers on round 2, 3 KO, but I'm just taking rounds 2 or 3 at +1000. I mean, you can't go wrong because I'm just going to chuck $5 on that. And you know, if she survives the first, it's going to be very live because I do think Santos does slow down. Now, Montel Jackson, KO +400. I know Damon hasn't been KO'd before, but he has been hurt. He got hurt by Zalal very badly, 10-8'd in the 3rd round of their fight. To add to that, Montel Jackson has, like I said in my prediction video, I think one of the highest knockdown ratios in the division and in the UFC in general. He has knocked down, I think, every single opponent he has fought in the UFC, which is a wild statistic. And I think he's very live to hurting Blackshear. I think Blackshear, as the fight goes on, becomes less and less dominant with his grappling. As we've seen, he does tire out as the fight goes on, especially in the 3rd round. And Jackson is a very composed fighter who picks his shots and, you know, maybe can find that KO. So +400, why not? Then we got Van KO. I know people see Charles Johnson as an absolute juggernaut that just can't get finished. But you've seen him hurt. We nearly saw him get knocked out by Maxim. He got hurt and dropped, I think, by O'Day Osborne. And Van is probably the best striker he's fought. Van rips to the body, rips to the head, and you know, I think he's very live to get the KO against Charles Johnson because you know, Charles Johnson's getting up there with age, and Van is just improving fight after fight, and he always pressures his fighters with big impactful shots. That's why I picked Van over Johnson, because I think Johnson has these pitter-patter shots, whereas Van puts some emphasis on his strikes and really tries to hurt his opponent. So at +500, I'm going to take it, and yeah, so Van by KO, why not? Now, Lusa 2-3. Okay, so I know I said Bonfim KO sub in my straight bets, but this is just a sprinkle. Like I said, $5 at +1300. We've seen Bonfim slow down as the fight goes on. We saw it in the Delby fight. He got completely broken and finished in the 2nd round. And I'll give props to Lusa. He tries to, you know, even if he gets hurt or gassed, he tries to continue the fight and tries to win. I think what's his name? Bonfim can possibly win the 1st round dominantly and then completely gas, and then Lusa can take over. And if you're getting Lusa at +1300 to finish him in rounds 2 or 3, I think that's wild, because I do think that's probably one of his avenues to winning this. I don't think he has much success in the 1st round. And, you know, unless it goes to a decision, I think Lusa probably wins this in the 2nd or 3rd round if it escapes the 1st and definitely the 2nd round. So give me Lusa 2-3 at +1300. It's as simple as that. And then the last one kind of ties in with my Ponzi and Salikov, not to go the distance. It's Salikov by KO. Like I said, Ponzi has been dropped and hurt by Morono 3 times, which I don't really rate Morono's striking power at all. He got KO'd by Holland recently. He's been KO'd before as well, I'm just not going that far back. But, you know, I do think Salikov has beautiful striking in the 1st round. We saw at the start of the Brown fight, he has some very good striking still at the age of 40. And, you know, you just because someone's old and all that doesn't mean they lose all their power, doesn't mean they lose all their striking. It's just a factor that you have to consider. But I'm going to take him to win by KO at +400 over his money line any day of the week. Actually, maybe not any day of the week, because his money line is plus money. So, yeah, scratch that. But I still will take his KO. And, yeah, that is it. That's UFC Denver wrapped up. My best bets all done. Guys, like I said, or girls, whoever's watching. Yeah, it's getting girls. But anyway. Maybe my girlfriend. Yeah, it's a tough betting card. Be careful. Don't bet large amounts of cash on this card. I'm telling you, there's gonna be some sketchiness. I'm not even confident in my predictions that much. As you probably saw, I didn't have any high confident predictions. I think the highest was medium. There was a few mediums, but yeah, just a sketchy card all around. Be careful if you bankroll, and yeah, just enjoy the fights, because sometimes you can have a week where you just go a little bit lighter and just enjoy the fights as they come. Other than that, I'd like to thank you for watching the video. Like I said at the start of the video, please subscribe, leave a like, a comment on anything, leave a comment on any bets that you think are valuable that I've missed out on or I should consider. Other than that, enjoy the fights. I'll be with a recap straight after the fights, maybe a day after, if at the latest. And yeah, that about wraps it up. Enjoy your day, enjoy your night, enjoy your weekend. Catch you later. Ciao.